What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to talk about fights that should happen after UFC's Fight Night in Austin, Texas at the Moody Center. I know this fight was December 2nd. I know it was a long time ago, but I just haven't had time to make this video until now. And starting with Sean Brady versus Gilbert Burns. If you look at the screen, I listed some reasons why this fight will put Gilbert Burns back in the win column. He was currently on a 2-fight win streak until he lost to Bilal Muhammad. And I think he just needs to get back in there and get a win column. And this fight will prove if Sean Brady can hang with the top fighters. You know, he dominated Kevin Gastelum for 3 rounds and then finally submitted him. He did good on the feet. And he out-grappled him too. And people, the real fans, know how good of a grappler that Kevin Gastelum is. For him to get dominated like that by Sean Brady was something I think we were all surprised. I think we knew that Sean Brady had good grappling, but we did not know he would be able to dominate Kevin Gastelum on the ground for 3 rounds. I think round one and rounds two. No, I think rounds one and round three, you can make an argument for a 10-8 round. I think round one, it was either round one or round two, he had like, what was it, 2 or 3 minutes of control time, and you could argue it was a 10-8 round. But I mean, I think it's just a simple fight because Sean Brady is one of those fighters that he's like in the Rafael Fiziev situation before the Justin Gaethje fight. He deserves a top 8 or at least a top 5 spot in terms of he needs that fight to prove how good he is. And we saw how Rafael Fiziev, he did really good against Justin Gaethje. And I think Gilbert Burns should let Sean Brady get the chance to prove himself. And if Sean Brady loses, at least he goes out on a shield. At least he puts on his best fight ever. He puts on a really good fight, and even if he loses, but he still puts on a great fight, we know he could somewhat hang with the top 5 or top 6. But it puts Gilbert Burns back in the win column. And that fight, I think, would be banger slugfest for like 3 rounds or 5 rounds. You could do a fight night main event, honestly, or make it like a featured fight on a pay-per-view card. Make it 3 rounds. Moving on to the next fight, Piotr Jan versus DVC and Figueiredo. It's a winnable fight for both fighters. Jan needs a striking matchup to get him a win. Puts Figgy in the top 5 if he beats Jan. Now Figueiredo's fight against Rob Font was really, really good. I watched it. I was watching the whole fight night card, and I thought it was really, really good. His power transitioned really well. His speed transitioned really well. His grappling was really good as too. I mean, this is the same Figueiredo that's literally fought at flyweight. It's just that he hits harder and he's faster. That's literally the only boost that gave him. It's literally the same Figueiredo. I know he's up there in age. He's what, 35, 36? He's getting up there, but he still looks like he's young and in his prime. And Piotr Jan, what is he, 1-3 in his last 4? I think. Or is it 1-4 in his last 5? I think it's 1-4 in his last 5, I believe. And Jan is an amazing striker. He's just had had a roadblock. That's all, you know? It's not like Piotr Jan is washed. He's just had a roadblock. He needs a win. That's a winnable matchup. I think the takedown defense of Piotr Jan will set up his striking, because if Figueiredo doesn't take down Jan, I think he gets pieced up. Figueiredo is faster and he hits harder, but I think Jan is more technical. And he's the better striker. He's better technical striking. He's got better fight IQ and he's really, really good. I think if Davison Figueiredo wins, give him either a title shot or you give him a top 3 opponent to set up a title shot. Because Rob Font was ranked top 7 or was it top 8, and Jan is number 5 or 6. Like, he's up there. Like, if he beats Jan, he could have a decent argument for a title shot. If he beats Jan and people think he doesn't deserve a title shot, maybe give him a top 3 opponent to see how he really does. Give him like Marab or Henry or, you know, someone up there that is good. Like, imagine Figueiredo versus Marab. I think Marab would get chinned. Moving on, we have Jalen Turner versus Matthäus Gamrot. Now, I know Matthäus Gamrot was just recently confirmed to fight RDA, and I made this list 5 days ago. I was gonna upload this video 5 days ago, but I just haven't had time because I've been sick. But this was before I even knew RDA was gonna fight Metalis. But I think Jalen needs his get back because he lost to Game Rat, and I think the way he looked against Bobby Green on short notice, he looked really good, and I think he has a solid chance of beating Gamrot if he stuffs those takedowns. And it's an exciting rematch. I thought the first fight was pretty good. Um, Gamrot's grappling is way better than Jalen's, but that doesn't mean that Jalen can't stuff those takedowns and piece him up on the feet. I mean, imagine if he finished Gamrot. Imagine the hype behind him. He already has hype, but imagine the even more hype, and imagine him, because if he beats Gamrot, he'll be placed at least number 7 or number 6, because Gamrot's in the top 6, I believe. He's in the top 7. So he's getting up there. If he beats Gamrot, that'd be an interesting. I really think they should have gone with that fight instead of RDA and Gamrot, because Jalen's on a good little streak. What is it, a 2-fight win streak as of now? What is it, 2-fight win streak or 1-fight win streak? It's like a 1 or 2 fight, or is it 3? I don't know. It's been a minute since I checked the UFC record stats. But Jalen Turner needs an exciting match. He needs that rematch to get that get back. And that puts him in the top 5 category, possibly. Moving on, Arman Sarukian versus Michael Chandler. Now, Arman called out Chandler before the Dariush fight. It's a winnable for both fighters, and it's an exciting slugfest. Why I think this fight should happen: number one, Arman Sarukian um, called out Michael Chandler before the Beneil Dariush fight. And he even called him out before his last fight. The fight before the Dariush fight against that one guy he fought, he like knocked him out in the 3rd round, I believe. He called him out after that fight, and then before the Dariush fight, he called him out again. Because I don't think Connor's gonna fight Chandler. Connor's doing his side quests. He was confronting Jan at a face-off at a boxing event. He had a face-off with Mike Perry talking about he wants to become the bare knuckle fighting championship champion. He wants to box Canelo, and he wants to fight all these other welterweights. He's like calling everyone out, but he's not fighting Chandler. And I think that should be the fight to make, is Chandler versus Connor. But if that fight doesn't happen, he needs to fight Arman. I think Arman Sarukian versus Michael Chandler would be an amazing fight, because Michael Chandler has the IQ of potato. Arman Sarukian just demolished Beneil Dariush in 1 round, literally under 2 minutes. I mean, it was an exciting KO. But how would this fight go? In my prediction, I would have to go with Arman Sarukian by finish. We've never seen Michael Chandler get flatline knocked out, but if he drops Michael Chandler and then like submits him, that's possible too, because he does have better. I think he has better wrestling. I think he has better jiu-jitsu than Chandler. He would definitely submit him, but this is the fight to make, in my opinion. Arman Sarukian is in the top 6 as of now. I'm looking at my phone, and I'm looking at the UFC rankings. He is in the top 6. And Chandler was in the top 5 a while ago. I'm not sure if he still is, because he hasn't fought in a minute. But I think it's an exciting fight. It gives Arman Sarukian the chance to actually prove he's deserving of a top 5 spot. He beat Dariush, that's nice, but he's calling for a title shot, and I don't think he deserves a title shot, because Charles Oliveira beat everybody in the top 5 and finished them, but he hasn't fought Arman Sarukian. I think Arman Sarukian needs at least a top 3 or 4 win. Like, anyone between rankings number 1 through number 4, give Arman Sarukian 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the UFC lightweight rankings, any of those numbers, and then he would deserve a title shot. But I think he just doesn't deserve it. He's on a 2-fight win streak, right? But he needs to prove himself. I don't think he's proved himself, and you might say I'm like, I'm casual or I'm crazy. But we saw he got knockout power. He knocked out Beneil Dariush. I want to see him fight someone who's actually on a good winning streak, because Beneil Dariush is now on a 2-fight losing streak. He just lost to Oliveira. I think maybe Gaethje versus Arman, but I know Gaethje's not going to risk losing his title shot, because if Gaethje lost against Arman, then that would give Arman a lead ahead with the title shot, and I don't think Gaethje wants to risk losing his title shot. But that's it for today. I truly do believe that Arman Sarukian versus Michael Chandler is the next fight to make. Enjoy your guys' night. Spread love, peace, and positivity.